Look, this is all speculation, but it is something that clearly popped into my brain when I saw the news today that Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren is going to take the president and CEO job of the Chicago Bears. This has been a news item that's been bubbling around for a bit. I remember hearing from somebody in the Chicago media saying, hey, man, what's this I hear about Jim Phillips, ACC Commissioner, maybe leaving that post to take the president and CEO gig for the Chicago Bears, which, look, there's connections there. Jim Phillips is a Chicago native, has spent time, Northwestern most recently as the AD, and he's a business-minded guy. You might not agree with his vision of things for the NCAA, right? But he's a business-minded guy, a holistic approach guy. So it ended up being Kevin Warren instead, who's got a background outside of collegiate sports, and that's why they brought him in to be the Big Ten commissioner. So sure enough, Giglio, I go to The Athletic. The person that I trust to have some sort of insight on where the Big Ten might be going on things is our friend Nicole Auerbach.
Mm-hmm.
She would know. She would know. She works for the Big Ten Network. And as I go to the story titled "Who Will Replace Kevin Warren?" a list of Big Ten commissioner candidates, the first name is Jim Phillips, ACC commissioner, who was in the running for that job back in 2019 before they went and did the curveball. Like all searches have curveballs, right? Debbie Yao was a curveball as an AD when she got to NC State. Heck, their president, or the chancellor of NC State, was also a little bit of a curveball.
Randy Woodson was
a little bit of a curveball too. Regardless, these things kind of play out that way. But some other names that had been floated out there to be the next Big Ten commissioner would include Gene Smith, the athletic director of Ohio State, or Stanford athletic director Bernard Muir. So there's some names out there, but Phillips is the one that matters around here because, well, he literally just got the job as the ACC commissioner not that long ago. Kevin Warren was on that job for 30 months. And this is why this is important. In an era where we don't know where college sports is headed, and the Big Ten's kind of a big mover and shaker in that department. Yeah. I mean, the SEC and the Big Ten are the ones that ultimately call the shots. And John Swofford, to his credit, had a good relationship with Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, and they would try to work in tandem with stuff. But going forward, it's like everybody for themselves for the most part, as we saw with the college football playoff expansion. So there's a major power vacuum in college sports at a time where we don't know who's leading what. So somewhere Greg Sankey's like Littlefinger, chaos is a ladder for me, so let's keep pushing what the SEC wants in the grand scheme of things. It's all a very interesting time in college athletics right now.
Yeah, don't forget, Kevin Warren's the one who broke the oath to Jim Phillips, because remember, they looked each other in the eye. I looked him dead in the sockets.
And I said, "Dare roll."
And I said, "Dare roll. I will not break." What was it called again? I already forgot.
You said that.
What was it?
Oh, I totally forgot now.
What was it called, Cox? The Pac-12?
It was the Alliance.
The Alliance.
Yeah, the Alliance.
Kevin Warren's the one who broke the Alliance.
I know.
I think it was the NWO.
Yeah. And he was the third man. But whose side is he on? So, Jim Phillips maybe has a grudge to hold in that regard. I mean, listen, I don't think there was any secret that Jim Phillips wanted to be the Big Ten commissioner. Mm-hmm. That was the job that he had coveted, he had interviewed for. Many people thought he would get that job. And I think he got the ACC job for a lot of the reasons that you had laid out. He had no connection to the league, but he is a lifer in the NCAA, and he is considered to be, someone who understands college sports. I'll say this, since what the Big Ten has done in adding UCLA and USC and expanding their television contract, and listening to Kevin Warren from the Big Ten media days, he is diametrically opposed to Jim Phillips and his viewpoints on what college sports is supposed to be or is.
I'll point this out about the Big Ten, and it's businessy, but it's important context here. Kevin Warren knocked out all the particulars of moving the Big Ten forward, from the college football playoff expansion to the new television contract that makes it the most lucrative out there for a Power 5 conference, and, as you mentioned, the additions of USC and UCLA. And it's entirely possible Jim Phillips, who's in that Skull and Bones club that you like to talk about, Notre Dame product and everything else, never sleep on the fact that if people are already poking around about the grant of rights for the ACC, as locked down as it is, who's to say that Jim Phillips might not actually be brought back in to see if Notre Dame maybe reconsiders? And again, speculation, but with those Notre Dame ties and Big Ten ties, tries to bring that together
Could be.
in the future. So just something to keep an eye on the next time a television negotiation comes around, which in the Big Ten's case will be in 8 years.